Hey guys, what's going on? We got another Mythic Plus video. It is the final key of the season. So I decided to play as Storm. But anyways, we got a plus 10 Algeth'ars, we got Tyrannical, we got Incorporeal, and we got Spiteful. Um, the start of this key went a bit sideways. It's a complete bug, so it happened. But yeah, so I decided to play Storm just to start off or to finish off the season really, because I feel like Storm is going to be part of the pre-patch. So if you didn't know, pre-patch is dropping tomorrow, which is super exciting. What's going to involve with that? Well, all of the class changes. Uh,
Watch your
we
step.
don't have access to the hero talents just yet, but we will
Watch your
have
step.
access to all the new talent trees. So, which is super exciting for enhancement because we got some pretty big changes. Most recently, the talent rank changes to Molten Assault. We had the Maelstrom damage increase one, as well as Ancestral Wolf Bones or whatever it is. Basically, the one that reduces the cooldown of Feral Spirits. So what does that mean? Well, that gives us a whole lot more
Watch
options
your
to
step.
play around certain talents. So for Storm,
Watch your
it's
step.
going to mean we get both Elemental Assault, which guarantees your Maelstrom weapon generation, as well as 2 stacks of the Legacy of the Frost Witch. I don't know why these names are not connecting to my brain, but they aren't. But anyways, so basically, we're going to be able to get 2 ranks of Legacy of the Frost Witch, which will give us both 25% physical and frost damage, as well as getting still having the 1 rank of Elemental Assault, guaranteeing our more damage. But we'll also have access to Feral or Alpha Wolf at the same time, so Legacy of the Wolf will be buffing that even further. So I can't wait to try it. Um,
Watch
the
your step.
changes to both the Maelstrom damage increase and the Molten Assault means that we will be once again playing with Fire Nova. I believe we'll be playing with Fire Nova just because of the physical buffs that we will be getting from Feral Spirits and stuff. I do
Watch
believe
your
the tier
step.
set will be deactivated as well, so I think that also pushes Storm a bit more ahead. Another big change that is
Watch
coming
your
is
step.
Doom Winds got reduced by 1 minute, or not 1 minute. Oh my god, if it was, it got reduced to 1 minute. Sorry, so that gives you a lot more opportunities to Doom Winds with with some good Wind Fury damage. Um, so I will have a build out eventually for just
Watch your
pre-patch.
step.
I will put that out there at some point in this week when we actually get into it. But yeah, I'm excited to try out
Watch your
Fire
step.
Nova. I can't wait to really get a play of it. I was going to try it on beta, but I wasn't able to get into
Watch your step.
a dungeon or anything like that. So I was kind of like, okay, well, we'll just test it out in pre-patch. And so here we are. So once that
Watch your
happens,
step.
I will let you guys know how it does. I'm excited to try it. But also Elemental and Resto are getting a whole overhaul, which is exciting. Elemental looks absolutely amazing and it looks almost god tier. It's crazy how well it looks. Storm version, I'm not sure how it will do, but the fire version is actually kind of crazy. Resto Shaman also looks like a lot of fun. It looks like it's much more simplified as well, which is exciting because I think that's a great thing to simplify healers or any class for that matter. Simplifying things a bit gives people a better chance to understand the specialization. I know a lot of people for Enhancement Shaman, the Elementalist side, don't like it because of its complex
Watch your step.
rotation and priority, which I can understand because it is a lot. Even when I'm doing it, I don't quite think about it anymore, but it is still a lot
Your
there.
step.
It's more of muscle memory for me, so I'm
Begin.
not quite prioritizing the right spells all the time, but I do understand what is supposed to be casted. But it is a pain in the ass, especially when you can go to a special or a version of Enhance like Storm, where you can more or less focus on doing mechanics properly and not so much on
Watch your step.
your rotation. Now, in my opinion, I don't like
AOE incoming.
the specs being too simple where you're just spamming one button all the time. I do like a bit of variety, but when you got, you know, 8 or 9 actual rotation buttons that you're pressing, it's not quite that nice
Watch your
to
step.
deal with. Where Storm, you only really have Stormbolt to deal with, so it's kind of like or not Stormbolt, sorry, Storm Strike. So it's kind of a question, but
Watch
I
your
mean,
step.
everything is looking great for the
Begin.
War Within in the new version of Enhance, so I can't wait to really get into that. I'm going to be doing a lot of Mythic Plus, testing out all the different builds for both Enhance and Elemental and all of that. So I'm just extremely excited for all this. Let me know what you guys think,
Watch your
or
step.
what you guys are planning to do for pre-patch. I know a lot of content is supposed to come out
AoE
for
incoming.
like world boss type things or farming type of things, so I really can't wait. I'm just it's been such a slump lately in retail that I just haven't wanted to do anything. I mean, I've been grinding away on sod so much lately and it's been fun. I recently just got my DPS spec for enhance, doing some two-handed enhance, so it's been kind of interesting. DPS is up there, so it's fun, but also tank shaman is it's just
Watch your
so much
step.
fun as well. I really hope one day
Run.
that they bring tank shaman into retail because I would love to be a tank. Be great, but who knows exactly what they plan to do with that.
Watch your step.
But yeah, as for keystones in general for War Within, they have removed majority of affixes if you didn't know. Um, Fortified
Watch your
and
step.
Tyrannical are still here to stay, but they have slightly changed. I believe they nerfed Tyrannical. I think they nerfed
Run.
Tyrannical or they nerfed Fortified. I don't know. One of them got nerfed, but the
Watch your
reason
step.
being is because they're at a rank at a level 2 keystone, you get one of them. And then I believe once you reach a level 10, you get both Tyrannical and Fortified. But you also get 2 affixes in the middle, which I'm not quite sure what they do, but I think they're like a buff nerf type of thing that people wanted, but I don't think they change weekly. Um, but once you get to a Keystone 12 or 13, I believe, they actually go away and all you're dealing with is Tyrannical and Fortified, because I believe the top Keystoners were asking for something like that. So it's kind of exciting to see that because these other affixes aren't in it, the keys do actually get harder because you don't get the buffs from them. But at the same time, you don't have to worry
Shockwave.
about it. You're really just focused on mechanics, which is super exciting. So I think pushing keys will be more
Influence.
accessible to everybody rather than having to deal with a whole bunch of mechanics. Now, you do still have to deal with the dungeon mechanics, and we'll have to see how those all play out because apparently there is a
Shockwave.
significant amount of mob mechanics in the trash, meaning there's a lot more things to interrupt. You can't quite use stuns or
Shockwave.
knockups to interrupt spells. They just requeue the spell. It doesn't
Shockwave.
actually interrupt them. So, which is
Influence.
kind of interesting because, like, if they're adding so many, wouldn't an AoE like stun be good? But at the same time, they're nerfing a bit of utility, such as demon hunters and their silence,
Shockwave.
which I think is good because it was overshadowing every
Shockwave.
other tank. But that will also bring in prop paladins and maybe death knights a bit more because you have that optimal CC or whatever, right? Whereas prop warrior is more of a
Shockwave.
physical mitigator. So I don't
Shockwave.
know, but I think team comp is going to matter a lot more in the War Within, but we'll have to see how it all plays out. I know tanks just received a huge amount of changes, which is kind of scary, but we'll have to see how that plays out. I do have to say though, overall, I like seeing Blizzard trying things. Whether they work out or not doesn't really matter in my opinion. I mean, it obviously sucks when it does, but it's obviously good if it does work out. Um, but just seeing them try new things is just, it's exciting. I don't think anybody should really bash them for trying something. Now, obviously, it should be tested, and then once it's
Spread.
done testing, people give their feedback and be like, it's not really, this probably wasn't
Shockwave.
the problem, or you know, maybe we should go about a different way, that's fine. But as long as they're keeping up with a certain amount of maintenance on everything, you know, it's fine to change things, especially with that big of a change. It's surprising to see them do it so late in
Spread.
the beta, but maybe they're more into they're done with the classes, I think. So they want to focus more
Phase
on
change.
tuning and getting
Shockwave.
specializations ready. So that's I think that's where they're at right now. So I think pre-patch is also going to play a big part of that because everybody's going to be trying the new talents, the new
Spread.
loadouts and stuff. Obviously, we're not going to be at full power at level, I believe it's 80, but we are going to have like a base view of it, seeing how all the talents work together, seeing how the tanks work in this season, and maybe it'll bring out something
Shockwave.
Blizzard wants to look for. So, but I wouldn't worry too much.
Spread.
A whole lot of new content is coming too. Um, you know, delves are on their way, which is exciting to me. I love solo content. I love Torghast, but the only downside was is that it was a super grind. I think Torghast was a blast, but
Watch
when
your
it got
step.
to the point where it's like, okay, you have to get 50 different legendaries because
Phase change.
you know, you need two for Mythic Plus, two for rating, two for all your other specs. It was kind of like it was a
Shockwave.
terrible grind. It wasn't very fun, the fact that they
Spread.
put it there, but in my opinion, Torghast was kind of fun because you got to a point where you were just absolutely overpowered and broken, and you know everybody likes feeling like that. So, but delves kind of bring that solo content. They bring slight buffs to you as well, so we'll have to see how everything plays out. Um, but yeah, I don't know. All
Spread.
the class changes look great. I'm going to be playing a mage as a alt,
Shockwave.
so you know if you're a mage, if you're interested in mages, I will be playing that and trying to learn it the best I can. I've never really played a meta spec. I've always really been a shaman, so I've never really had the opportunity to be meta,
Spread.
which is kind of funny because actually I think we were enhanced was meta in season. I think it was season two.
Shockwave.
Season two of Dragonflight. I think we were meta, or considered it at least. So that was the one good thing about Enhance, because we had a huge amount of bursts and stuff. And I think that was the first MDI enhancement had made a showcase in by El Broible, because they were pushing away keys. So yeah, I think that was the one time we were meta. But any other time we haven't been. Like season three, none of the specializations for shaman were meta. So it'll be nice to see if we do become meta with these changes. I mean, every other class has gotten changes, so maybe they've gotten better and we just can't quite push it. But I don't know. I don't know. These changes look crazy and really good. But apparently a lot of people are really excited about mages. I know I am. I was looking at the fire changes because that's what I've been playing, and they look quite insane. And if you're wondering about this key and why I'm not stopping things, it's because I've been playing too much classic, and I've forgotten how to play. That's why I'm only in a 10. I've mostly forgotten how to play this game. But we will be back in the pre-patch. I can't wait. I really cannot wait. I'm so excited. Like, just getting these talent changes is huge. Just getting away from Elementalist for the most part, not being forced into that one build. I'll still be playing Elementalist every once in a while, I think. Or even, like, maybe a lot more. I don't know. It's just when I'm forced into a build, I don't know if anybody else feels like that. When you're forced into something, it makes you not want to play it, right? I don't know if that's just me, but that's definitely how I feel. Is like, oh man, it's really forcing me into Elementalist, but you know, I'm getting kind of tired of it. I like switching builds around all the time. I know playing once, like, especially when you're a class that has two separate builds, when you're forced into one, you always want to play the other. But when there's only one option, you know, you don't really have that option to change. So it makes it a lot easier to play the class, in my opinion. But yeah, I am just so excited to play Fire Nova once again. I really want to make Fire Nova work. I've kind of missed it.
Three,
Um,
two,
it's a really good
one.
AoE spell. It looks cool too. Seeing that big explosion. But Blizzard, I don't know. They also didn't connect Ice Strike to Hailstorm, which is kind of
Shockwave.
weird in my opinion. I thought that would have been something that would have been changed, but nope. So is Ice Strike going to be viable for Storm build? Probably not, unless it's single target,
Shockwave.
but even then, probably won't be grabbing it all that much just because it's out of the way essentially. So, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I know I'm going to be playing
Shockwave.
Totemic once the War Within drops, for the most part at least, as long as it's fixed. I think that's going to be the best version of Enhancement, but that is my speculation. Just from the fact that our new tier set gives us one extra Feral Spirit, which is 15% physical damage, which Surging Totem does do physical damage, so it's kind of to me, I feel like that's what is going to be the best version of it. But at the same time, Stormbringer looks amazing. It just got a 50% buff to Tempest, so maybe Stormbringer is actually the option, and you're just fishing for those Ascendance procs where you're just spamming Wind Strike with Lightning Bolt. And oh, also another thing, I know I've seen a lot of people asking why didn't they modify Enhancements Ascendants. You know, Elemental has both Ascendants and Rooted Elements, and the same goes for Resto Shaman. The reason I believe is because of Thorum's Invocation. And now you're probably wondering, well, why does that matter? Thorum's Invocation puts a extreme amount of power behind our Ascendants. A lot more than Elemental's Ascendants and a lot more than Resto Shaman's Ascendants. So if they were to give us both Ascendants and Rooted Elements, I think that might break Enhancement to a extreme amount. But if they were to remove that and do what they did to Elemental, where they gave it just like a 15% haste buff, maybe that would be different. I think that would work out a bit better actually if they did that. I personally feel like Thorum's Invocation might be an issue for Enhancement, but don't get me wrong, I love it. I think it's cool. You know, you proc Ascendants and the whole time you just have to smash one button and you don't have to worry about your Maelstrom because it's being auto-spent. But at the same time, I feel like maybe it should be changed because if you didn't know, in PvP, it wasn't nerfed before, whereas now I think it's nerfed down to 50. I think it got, the lightning bolts got nerfed by 50% while in Ascendance. Something like that, because they were just blasting people too much. And I mean, you can probably even feel the power behind Ascendance while you're Ascended anyways, because your numbers just go up. But at the same time, you know, Wind Strike just doesn't feel that powerful. I think they need to buff the Storm Strike and Wind Strike effects maybe a little bit to give it a bit more damage or something. But if you hear a train, I'm sorry, the train's going by right now. But yeah, I don't know. The whole Ascendance thing is definitely iconic for Enhancement or Shaman in general, so I'd like to see them do more things to it. I am excited to see Thorum's Invocation stay, but at the same time, I kind of wish it would go so they could do more with Ascendance. I don't know. And I know a lot of people have asked for a visual update for it, which I do kind of agree, but at the same time, I kind of do like its model, but I would like updated graphics on it maybe. So I love the hooded ascended storm, or like, you know, stone ascension thingy. I don't know. To me, it looks cool, but a lot of people have been asking for an updated model of it, and I kind of agree. But apparently also we're getting some visual effect updates. I don't quite know what that means, but or what's been affected, but you know, as flashy as we are right now, we're just going to get flashier, which in my opinion is great. Although we I think we trade flashiness power for damage any day. I'd rather do more damage than look cool, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. I think looking cool is just something that most classes don't. I mean, you look at Destro locks and they do a lot of rain of fire and stuff, which is kind of flashy, but and then you got Boomkin shooting out beams or demo lock summoning a bunch of pets. I don't know. But yeah, apparently we're getting some visual updates. I don't exactly know what is getting updated, but if it involves Shaman, it's probably something that doesn't already need it, but maybe it's Crash Lightning. That'd be cool. Get more explosion. Or maybe it's our Ascendants. That maybe. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, a lot of good stuff on its way. If you do play Enhancement, you know, just be excited. I know the first change that they made in beta was a lot of backlash just because it made it worse. It made the tree worse because it didn't have a connector, and then they added that connector which brought it back to its dragonflight style. But then, you know, a lot of the top enhancements gave their feedback, and I was quite surprised Blizzard listened and gave that feedback. I don't know if maybe they already had that planned or what. I know they knew the enhancement community was somewhat happy with their current tree, which I have to agree. I was happy with Dragonflight tree. It did need some slight adjustments. And then they removed Feral Lunge, they removed Wind Fury Totem, making them both baseline, which was great. And we're getting a raid buff if you don't know that. They turned Wind Fury Totem to a raid buff plus 2% mastery, which is super exciting, which isn't... So the 2% mastery is not affected by diminishing returns. If you don't know what that means, it's basically when you go over, like, I think it's 5,500 stat currently. It's going to change in War Within. But once you go over 5,500 stat, each stat of mastery gives you less percentage of mastery. As you continue to go up, once you get to 6,500, I think it goes down even further. So what this means is even if you're mastery capped, you don't have to worry about the effect falling off. So that's super exciting. And 2% mastery, I'm not sure if it's buffing your, you know, giving you 2% of your current stat mastery. Like if you have 5,500, you get 2% of that extra, or if it's doing a flat 2% to the target's mastery, because everybody's mastery scale is different in my opinion. So that's one thing I am wondering. Or they might change it to a flat rate, which I think would be smarter, but maybe they've finally figured out a way to do that, because a lot of times, even in Algeth'ar's, you know how you can grab each buff. The mastery buff is a flat stat rate rather than a percentage rate. So I think they might end up changing it that way, but I don't know. But yeah, overall, enhancement is looking great. We're honestly, both builds have such more, like, a lot better time getting to talents. You might be able to take Legacy of the Frost Witch as Elementalist just to gain that extra frost damage. Actually, that would be actually really, really good, especially for Mythic Plus. Gaining more hailstorm damage is huge. I just thought of that. But yeah, or you could even take Ascendance even. You could take a Boon of Ascendance, although you don't really want to be Storm Striking unless they change it. You want to be more Lava-lashy. Maybe they should add an Ascendance for Lava-lash. Maybe that's a play. That'd be interesting. You get to choose between two types of Ascendance, maybe? Although that would kind of copy Elemental's Fire Ascendance. Rather than getting a Wind Ascendance, we get a Fire Ascendance. I don't know. But that'd be interesting. And then make adjustments for that, but that would require a lot of changes. But yeah, I don't know. Well, let me know your guys' thoughts on everything that's changing, whether it's Mythic Plus as a entirety, or Enhancement, or Shaman, or Elemental, or any other classes. Are you excited for them? Are you excited for pre-patch even? Maybe you've given up on WoW. I don't know. If you've given up on WoW, I'm sorry. Hopefully it'll come back eventually. I think War Within is going to be One of the best versions of WoW. I mean, I thought Dragonflight was pretty great for World of Warcraft overall.
Breath incoming.
It is sad to see it go, but at the same time, I mean, we got new content coming, and that's always
Run.
exciting for me. I love new content. That's why I keep playing this game. I just love Warcraft in general, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited. I cannot wait for tomorrow. Hopefully the servers don't take too long to come up. I know if you're in EU, you're gonna have to wait an extra day, so I apologize for that, but you know, I don't know. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for this video. Please let me know what you think of all the changes that are coming, and you know, what your thoughts, and do you think they're going to be good or maybe bad? I don't know. But yeah, let me know. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed me rambling on as per usual. Have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Laters!